Good morning. It is 9:07 on a Wednesday. I'm excited because I got Chef Mary Bass here in studio. What's up, Chef Bass? How's it going?
It's going great. I'm so excited to be here. It's my favorite place to come.
I'm glad that you're here. I like your shirt. I've seen that one before. Yeah, Chef's Table Charity. So can you share, if somebody's just tuning in for the first time ever, what exactly is Chef's Table Charities?
Chef's Table Charities is a charitable organization that came in the wake of Hurricane Harvey, and this week was 2 years since Hurricane Harvey made landfall on Dickinson and caused so much destruction. And so we really started on my couch. I was in Bay Colony.
It's a good place as any to start, just on the couch.
Where are you going to start? And I'm sitting there on Facebook watching this devastation happening around us and saw, so many of my friends that were impacted by the hurricane and was like, you know what, there's a way I can help. And so I started just saying, hey, we're going to raise money for the teachers in Dickinson ISD that were displaced. And just start really in my kid's school. So I found out, how many teachers at Calder Road Elementary were displaced. And I was like, I'm going to put $200 in their hand. And I didn't care if they bought beds or shoes or a hotel room or a hot meal, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And so that's, where it started. And so far we have met the needs of half the teachers in Dickinson ISD who were displaced from Harvey, and we're still working on it. And we're about to make another distribution to another school. And, 2 years later, you don't really think that people are still out there, fighting for you.
I know. It's tough.
And so we'll be able to go, and I think we've got 14 teachers at the next school, and that's $200 a teacher that we're going to hand them cash and give them a hug and tell them, that we love them and we're still thinking about them, and we know that that it hasn't changed. Their lives are still affected by this. So that's where it started, and then the shooting happened in Santa Fe, and, we really, at that point, became Chef's Table Charities from doing community service projects in the community to bring the community back together in the wake of the shooting. And, I had friends and families who were directly affected by it that I knew personally, and so it made it even more personal to me. And then we helped with the government shutdown and feeding all the families, and y'all helped with that too. We appreciate it. And so, we are a community-based organization.
I love it. So we're going to go.
That was the short version.
That's the short version. And there's still a lot more that's going on, I'm sure. We're going to switch it over to the FM right now. Awesome. and greet our audience there. So here we go. Dedicated teachers make up. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It is 9:09. I'm Gardy. I got Chef Mary Bass with Chef's Table Charities and with a whole lot of other organizations and people here in studio. What's up, Mary?
Hello. Good morning. How are we doing?
So we were touching a bit on exactly what Chef's Table Charities is. If you have never heard of Chef's Table Charities, it's an organization that you should probably be involved with.
Right.
How can people find out information on the internet, and how can they actually get involved with what you're doing?
Yeah, so chefstablecharities.org, Chef's Table Charities on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. We're all over the place. Most of our information is sent out through Facebook. So if you want to keep the most current to us, just go like Chef's Table Charities.
On the book.
On the book. And we have our hands in lots of little projects that we do on a regular basis. We've got the Santa Fe Potluck, which was something that I started the day after the shooting. And my whole thought was, let's build a taller table. Let's build a longer table, not a taller wall. Let's all come together and have a meal and sit as a community, sit with your neighbors, sit with your friends. And, we did this potluck in the park behind Texas First Bank. And we just had the community members come out and sit and share and heal and cry and hug. And hugging's my favorite. And so that's what we did. And so from that, Rebecca Martinez and the Alliance for Churches on Highway 6 have picked this up. And so now quarterly they have these potlucks in Santa Fe. So this next one that's coming up in September, Mr. Mary's Barbecue, my husband is going to be cooking for it, and Chef's Table Charities is providing all the meat for him to cook.
So your husband, y'all met in culinary school, right?
We met in culinary school. Yep. He's the only thing, I'm the only thing he got out of the program. So he is just now, here we are 15 years later, cooking. And so it's exciting. We're a family business, so it makes it.
That's awesome, because I've had the barbecue. I've had the barbecue sauce, because it's his own recipe that he makes.
Yes.
And it's legit.
It's legit. And I'm like we're each other's worst critics. So I think all of my food is, not
the
as
best.
delicious. Yeah, no, no. And he feels the same way. And man, his stuff is so good. And we eat a lot of barbecue. We're Texans,
Yeah.
So it's nice that he's able to do that. And I've met my teammate, and he is there and does everything I ask him to do, and comes up with things. He came up with this all on his own. He's like, I want to cook for the thing. But he's from Santa Fe. He graduated from that high school. So, it's important to him to constantly keep the community, in his thoughts. And this is his best way he knows how to help.
And now y'all have kids together. Are y'all raising, little chefs, tiny chefs?
Only Viva has, we have 3. And so only Viva has really expressed an interest in culinary, and I think it's mostly she doesn't want to go to college, and college isn't for every kid. And so she said, if I train, can I not go to college? And I was like, if you pay attention.
But you're gonna have to you have to get, I guess, if she gets training from you, what's better than that?
Yeah, I was about to say, you don't have to go to college if you are actually well trained. But the Kensington wants to be a nurse or a NICU or something in the medical field that I can't even do the math on. And Maddox wants to be an engineer, and Viva's just like, yeah, let's do it. Whatever it is.
Does she have a name yet? Because she's like, okay, my mom has the business and the catering and the restaurant that's opening. We're going to touch on that. And then Mr. Mary's Barbecue. I wonder if Viva's brainstorming, I can steal the cake balls. Viva the cake balls.
Yeah, she's like, my name's already there. No, she is... I always tell the kids, this is a family business. We run this as a family. And so she's just part of the cog that runs our family business. So she'll just jump right in and be part of the best, legacy of food. So.
Yeah. Hey, so I see a comment on here. This is from Rebecca. She said, hey, please like and follow our page at Santa Fe Potluck, Santa Fe, Texas, Santa Fe TX Potluck. So it's really cool. How does it make you feel that something that, you were a part of the inception, to see other people keep it going and keep running?
It's really neat because you come up with these things. And to me, at that moment, it was just the night of the shooting, we got all these food trucks and all these different organizations to come out and just feed the public for free. We took up donations for the fund. And, to me, food is always healing, and it's always part of any happy and sad event in anybody's life. And so having food there Friday was just so important. And then Saturday I was like, you know what? We need more. We need more. And Rebecca and her crew have picked this up and just carried it. And it was such a blessing. And actually, Mayor Jason Tabor started this on his... It was kind of cool. We both had the ideas about the same time, but he started doing it even before. So I can't take 100% credit. Rebecca and Mayor Jason, they had it for his, what was it? He won the mayoral.
Just a party?
Yeah. It's I won. I'm now the mayor of Santa Fe. And they had a potluck. And so, between the two of those things, it's really...
That's cool.
Take it off. But Natasha and I finally got to go to our first one that we were not traveling for. The last one where Esteban's provided the fajitas.
They're coming to Santa Fe.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Leja cookers cooked everything, and it was delicious, and it was just good to see everybody and hug everybody. And they had activities for the kids. They had miniature therapy ponies, horses out there, and it was just a good time. And everybody just came together and sat and shared a meal together.
Yeah, you mentioned Chef's Table Charities officially starting, on the couch.
Yeah.
You're busy, a career,
right.
Working, cooking, raising a family, and I guess just had an idea. There was a need, and you said, hey, why not? And it's going to start right here on the couch. Let's start gathering some supplies, post Hurricane Harvey. I can't believe it's already been 2 years. I saw memories on my Snapchat, and it's crazy how time has gone by.
I was watching, Tim wading around in the water, and, us just... We were so safe. We were fine. And I'm seeing posts from my friends can somebody come get us off the roof?
Yeah.
Can somebody go get my mom? Can somebody check on my aunt? Seeing those posts come from all over the country, and it was just devastating. Your entire feed was just devastation. People crying because they've literally lost everything they've spent their life working for. And I'm sitting there in air conditioning with my Wi-Fi and perfectly content, and you get a little guilty. I'm in the same town. The house is one neighborhood over from me were flooded, lost everything, and I'm fine. I'm blessed. But I know that my grandma Mary and my grandma Pinky and grandmas way back who used to pray for the generations of kids that, they prayed for me to be safe. And that was something before they even knew who I was. And so I felt that safety around me at that time. And I was like, you know what? The only thing I can do is help and be a helper. And when there is times of devastation, you just try to find the helpers. That's Mr. Rogers saying, like, find those helpers. They're always going to be the ones who, show you that there's still humanity in the midst of chaos. And this was a Mother Nature. This one was, we can't control this. But, there's other acts that happen that we can control. And so, being an active part of your community, being an active part of, the political system, and being an active part. And if you don't believe in all that, just be a good source of energy that people can come to and find help if they need it.
Do you think that everybody can get involved? Like, even if someone's sitting on their couch right now and they see a need, like, is that something putting it there like, hey, maybe I should do that, whether it's donating $1, $1,000, or manpower at Sweat Equity?
Sweat Equity. You know what? I read something one time and it was like, you love puppies, good for you. You love babies, good for you. You love whatever your cause is. As long as everybody's working towards a better good, we don't all have to, ours is teachers and students and families. That's what we feel strongly about. Other people, like Angie Butler's son, feels strongly about homeless people and making sure that they have, care goods. And that's something Declan feels strongly about. But then there's people who love kitties and puppies and want to, save and hug and snuggle all of them. That's what they feel. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You find something you're passionate about, because it's easier to do a job when you don't feel like it's a job.
Then it's not work anymore.
It's not work anymore. And if you have a passion for it and a true love for it, yes, it's going to be hard. It's not always going to be, the easy way to do it, but it's so rewarding. Like, Natasha and I get so much out of doing this every day. And if anybody thinks that I do this on my own, like, there's no way. Natasha handles almost 80% of what happens in the nonprofit. And so I'm so blessed that she partnered up with me to do this. And then we have Joe Perez and we have Jenny, and they, between the four of us, we all, are able to help and do this together.
Yeah. If you're listening on Facebook, feel free to share this video out. Right now it's 9:19. This is KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. You can also listen from the KHEA Radio app. Just go to the App Store, download it, go to the Google Play Store, search KHEA. That thing will pop up, and then you can stream us from anywhere with internet. So make sure that you do that and take advantage of that opportunity, and also share the video, because that's one way that we can get information out super quick. Share it on your timeline, and we like to share some positivity, especially with the 2-year anniversary of Harvey coming sneaking by.
And it happened so quickly, and people are, people who were affected are like, they're still devastated, and to the rest of us who didn't lose our homes or our cars or, whatever else, it's not as something that's at the forefront of our mind. Every time it rains, we don't have PTSD that, we're going to flood again, or, our kids still sleep well at night. And so, if you have a friend who went through something like that, just make sure to tell them, like, I understand what you're going, or I don't understand what you're going through, but I'm here if you need something. And just being that support system for them. We preach kindness. Like, that's our Chef's Table Charities, our platform is kindness. Like, how can you be kind? And just taking care of your neighbor is number one. You don't even have to do anything, but just make sure there is a world outside of your bubble. Pick your head up, look and see what's going on. If you constantly look for ways to help, constantly, like, everything you do, holding doors open, being kind, smiling, make your cashier stop checking your things, look up and say hi to you, and just making sure that people know that you're part of their day and you actually care about their well-being. Yeah, that's something I do. Like, whenever I'm checking out, like, HEB anywhere, hey, how are you doing? Or, not giving a generic response, or I mainly do that because I was a cashier. Yeah, and nobody talks to you. Yeah. They talk at you and not to you. Yeah. So I always, look at their name tag, and I'm like, hey, Gardy, how's your day going today? And then they stop and look up, like, how do you know my name? Like, they're not literally wearing it on their shirt. And every now and then they're like, oh, I borrowed my friend's name tag. And I'm like, well, today you're, yeah. Costa Mesa, California. I mean, whatever, whatever your name is. It costs nothing just to be a nice person. It costs nothing. Yeah. And it really makes you feel better, and there's all these movements going around, and it doesn't have to be a movement. It doesn't have to be viral. It just has to be you generally wanting the world to be a better place and be kind. One of the things we did this year is we made T-shirts for back to school for kids through In Stitches in Dickinson. Amy Gill is our girl. She makes us all of our shirts. And so she made these shirts that just said, "I will be your friend." That's all the shirt said. And it said Chef's Table Charities and the Honor Network. But basically, teaching our kids at a young age to find somebody who needs a friend and just have them there to, just to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How important is that with kids? School just got back in session. I think Texas City ISD went back today. Today's
so
day
I think
one.
they're the last ISD to kind of go back in sesh, and Galveston went back on Monday, and so it's extremely important. Your kids need to know, you need to be an example to them, and your kids need to be an example to others. Not everybody has good parents to teach them the right way of doing things, and so having your kids say, you know what, if nobody else is going to be your friend, I'm going to be your friend. And so it's really just a great way for us to, to continue to share that. Every generation needs to continue to be kind, and there needs to be that approach.
Here's a comment from Christina. Good morning, Christina. Thank you for tuning in. And if you have a comment or a question, feel free to ask. She said, yes, you can save someone just by saying hi and being kind, because you don't know what that person's going through.
You see it every day. Like, everybody is fighting a hard battle. You don't know what that battle is. And it's not your place to judge or to make decisions or anything. You just look up and you be you. You be kind. You be happy. You be good. And the rest of it will fall into place. And, people notice it. They do pay attention to it. And you know what? Go out of your way to just be that way. So
with that shirt, where did y'all get that idea? Did you see it somewhere, or just
I will be your friend?
Yeah.
No, a kid. It was a viral thing. This kid made this shirt and wore it to his first day of school, and it went viral. And so his, the one action of one person can make a difference. And we sold dozens of shirts the first time. We're still taking orders on shirts through Friday. So if you want your kid, or you as an adult, put a shirt on that says, "I will be your friend." You never know in the workplace or in your day-to-day travels who you might come across. And, you don't have to go and have sleepovers and snuggle them or anything. Just buy them coffee and check on them every now and then,
Yeah, here's another comment from Chris. He said, even if it did cost something to be kind, I'd gladly pay it.
Yes.
And that's really cool to think about.
Like things like buying people's coffee or buying people's food, do that, but leave them a note that says, you know what, I really wanted to kick your day off right. Enjoy your coffee. I always say free food digests better. It's my favorite.
It does taste better.
It just tastes your free food. I didn't have to pay for it. Buying people's food in restaurants is my favorite thing to do.
I've been with you in a restaurant before, and I've seen you do that. Like, hey, that table over there, give me their check quick. That's really,
so my father used to do that.
Okay.
And I remember being out in public, and he would see like a single mom with her kids, and they're like ordering 2 plates to split between 5 people because they didn't. They obviously needed a break of cooking, but they didn't have enough money to like really eat. So my dad used to do that. My sisters are really good at it. My sister Kat, she'll buy the whole tab for a whole group of people, and so it's just something that my family's always done, and now it's just even more extreme because I get the opportunity to do it in public, and I don't go up to the tables. It's not about people knowing what you're doing. It's just about how you make them feel. And most of the time I get caught, but every now and then
sneak through.
I can sneak through.
I'd be scoping out the restaurant. It's like, is Mary here? Like, what's going on?
My favorite is to call to other cities and do it. I've done that a couple of times. I got Joe Perez in Vegas once, and I got a bunch of teachers in Dallas one time, like 14 teachers.
Really?
Yes, it was so awesome. Love it, middle school teachers.
And it makes you feel good, too.
You know what? It's just the endorphins that you get from being nice. It's so much, like, you feel good all day long because, you're able to just do something good. And and it doesn't, nobody has to do things on my scale. I'm on an extreme. I'm on the other side of the rainbow, but do things on your scale, general kindness is just the way to go.
But you wouldn't be mad if somebody was like, hey, I'm going to start doing that too. No, that's a good thing.
Listen, if you want to go buy people's food in public, I'm telling you what, it is the coolest thing ever. And you think about it and you're like, what's that, $30 to $50 for a ticket? Most of the time, that's about what the check ends up being. And tip the server, because sometimes they'll leave and not tip since they don't have a bill. It's just one of those things that makes you feel better. And I get way more out of it than anybody whose free meal I bought.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
Maybe we can go to Popeyes and see if they're still sold out of the chicken sandwich, the viral chicken sandwich, and be like, I'm going to buy everybody. Oh, they're out.
Oh.
Have you had that?
No.
I haven't had it either.
I made a post, though, on my Chef Mary Bass page with all the memes that are coming out for it.
They're hilarious.
The Jesus memes are
They're
my
too much.
favorite. They're too much, man. The one with them all sitting at the table with all the disciples, and it was like one of you. Have you seen this one?
No.
It's like one of you will betray me, and it's Judas eating Popeyes and everybody else eating Chick-fil-A. They're so funny. Go on Chef Mary Bass page, scroll down about 3 posts, and you'll see the Chick-fil-A cows holding Popeyes Got Rats signs.
Oh, I saw that one.
And then underneath it are all these ridiculous memes, and it's just fun. It's just funny. I'm pro Chick-fil-A, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you're watching on Facebook and you've had that sandwich, chime in. Let me know. Is it good? Is it worth eating?
So I hear that the Popeye sandwiches is delicious. Like, Jimmy Flex had it yesterday, and he said it was pretty good. So, I mean, if Jimmy Flex says it's good. But, yeah, it's a good sandwich. But if you don't have any of them, how good is the sandwich? If you run out, how good is a sandwich that you can't even taste?
Well, it depends on the perspective. If somebody had it, and they're like, it's that good, we ran out. Or it's just like, I can't eat. I can't get it anywhere.
You can't even get it.
I saw a friend in Galveston, him and his buddy, he secured the bag. He made a whole Instagram story. He's like, we got the bag. They had 2 bags, both of them walking out.
I don't know if I'd eat the Popeyes in Galveston. So, I mean, it's it's like one of those things. Anyways.
And it's about consistency, especially with the business and specifically food, right?
Yeah. As a restaurant, and restaurant owners know that when a customer walks in, you have to have what they want to order. If they sit down with a menu and they find picking off a menu is the most difficult thing for some people.
I want pictures.
Now, you do you?
I like pictures.
Yeah, so it's like, this is what this is going to look
like. Or the
like.
special, limited time. Like, even if it's at a restaurant, they start reading, and I'm like.
This is the chef feature of the day?
Yes.
Yes, that's you.
So, yeah, consistency.
So, just being able to say, like, okay, sure, we have that. Like, let me, when you go in and you're like, no, we don't have any of those today, blah, 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 blah. And Popeyes isn't even saying my pleasure, when they tell you that. It's my pleasure to tell you we are out of everything.
Yeah. I had
no ranch.
A friend went and got one, and they said they were trying to get the person at Popeyes to say my pleasure. And it's like, not thank you, but, like doing everything, but they wouldn't do it.
It's like the secret word video.
Yeah. Can you just say my pleasure real quick?
Could you just say that? Like, I just want to feel you saying my pleasure.
Thank you, I don't know.
I know. Anyways,
I would try
think, either way, both Chick-fil-A and Popeyes are getting a huge boost in business on this.
It's good.
So I hope that they appreciate.
Yeah, and then have you seen the memes? And I grew up walking to McDonald's. We grew up, close to each other.
It says we'll be back when you're
when
poor.
You're broke. Yeah, they'll be back.
They'll be back. And
hey, that $1.10 got me through like life sometimes.
Listen. When I was a senior in high school, we got off-campus lunch here at Abundant Life. And so we used to go to that McDonald's. I don't know why they ever let us have off-campus lunches. Probably because nobody else got it after that. And they had 39-cent cheeseburgers.
Ooh.
Just the single cheeseburgers. And we would go, and the boys would order like 100 cheeseburgers, which was $39. And we'd sit there and stuff Big Joe and Wally and Walter and all of them would just stuff as many cheeseburgers in their face as they could.
To be young again. I miss that. I want to do that. I would do that today.
If they had 39-cent cheeseburgers,
that's true.
That would be our lunch.
I would have to do the McChickens.
But now they're $1.19 or something for a cheeseburger.
Inflation.
Just like that's 80 cents. 2 decades and 80 cents.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not that bad. Yeah, it's pretty good actually. Oh, man. So let's see. Right now it's 9:30. This is KHEA. We're talking to Chef Mary Bass. This is 99.5 FM. If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to share this out. We're talking about Chef's Table Charities. We've touched on the Honor Project, at least I guess we haven't touched on the Honor Project. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so right now it's back to school. Everybody, it's a love-hate for some people. I personally love back to school. But we want to encourage the students to be kind. So this Friday, we have a kindness rally. Say that 5 times fast. Kindness rally at KE Little with a bunch of elementary school kids and teaching them how to be kind and what kindness is. And, if you start getting that integrated into their everyday life early on, then it'll carry on with them through middle school and through junior high. And
is kindness something that needs to be taught, or do you think people are generally kind, or and like I guess being unkind is taught too?
So I think that you're naturally like born inclined to be kind, but you can be taught anything. So the kids who are not generally kind, it's especially at that young of an age, it's a reflection of what they have going on around them. Maybe their parents had mean parents who had mean parents, and so you got to break that cycle. The kids got to decide at some point, like, all right, my parents are not the best role models for me, so let's find new ones. And so we really want to, as Chef's Table Charities, show them, okay, here's how to do this. Here's the people who are already doing it. Follow them, Yeah. These are the communities and schools and the principals and the counselors that are being kind, so let's, encourage that kindness. And so we're going to give the kids a kindness project so that they can last year we did it at McAdams Junior High. It was amazing. And we had things like bake the janitor cookies and tell the lunch ladies how pretty they look today, and stuff like that.
Just giving them ideas too.
Yeah, and so then they all got a slip of paper and they went out and they did their kindness project. They turned it in, and I think the principal had to kiss a pig or something. So there was some ridiculous incentive.
That's fun.
For them. And then they're gonna do the Kindness Rock Project, and they have a tour of a park coming up, so they're going to leave their rocks at the park so people can find their kindness rocks. And
awesome.
But if you're in a school that you're interested in having a kindness rally, Natasha and I come, we bring a slideshow, we give you $100 to do your kindness project, and you can just email us chefstablecharities@gmail.com, and we will set a date up for you.
So I've held my tongue long enough. Can we talk about your restaurant that's
let's
opening?
do it.
What's going on?
Okay, so it's not a restaurant.
Okay.
But it's a kitchen.
It counts as a restaurant to me.
Because you're going to eat there?
I'm going to eat there. Yeah.
So it's called La Cocina by Chef Mary Bass, which means the kitchen by Chef Mary Bass. And basically it's my catering kitchen. So for years I've rented, subleased, beg-barred, and stealed kitchens. And my business is getting busier and busier. And I have a goal. I want to be $1 million catering company in 5 years. And I just, what is crazy? I think about that, and then I think about how much good I can do with $1 million. If my business, is doing what it's doing now, and we're able to do so much cool stuff, what can I do with $1 million? How much more can I influence?
Mm-hmm.
And, but I have to have a kitchen. I have to have a space that I can cook out of that's my own, and all my stuff's in one place and not in off-site storages. And
yeah. So it's in Galveston. Why Galveston, and why that specific location? Where is it?
So it's on 1508 39th Street. And it used to be Chopin Mon Ami Catering. And so I know it's already got some good catering juju because they were so successful. They moved to their own location off of 45th and S. But, Galveston is near and dear to my heart. I am a fifth-generation Galvestonian, born and raised on the island. And so up until my parents moved off the island to send us to school, that's where I was. And so every week for my entire childhood, I was in Galveston. And so it's just important to me. And I want to be able to do these historic Galveston dinners based around historic Galveston venues that don't even exist anymore, and these menus that they have from those locations at the Rosenberg Library, and be able to sell tickets to tourists, and they can come and learn a little bit about the island and have a really good meal. So I've got to have a space for it.
I love the name. Was there anything else in the running, and how did you, finally, finalize that name? La Cocina, Chef Mary Bass.
When I went from Viva La Cake Balls to Chef Mary Bass, the rebranding as a business, you are your brand. So going from Viva La Cake Balls to Chef Mary Bass was a nightmare. It was not fun. So I needed to be able to stay Chef Mary Bass in this new location, and this just happens to be the kitchen for me. So I didn't want to come up with anything crazy. Latin food is my favorite thing to cook, street Mexican food. So the venue will really reflect that style. Really bright, bold, happy colors when you walk in.
I saw the paint palette, or, you had picked some colors. That looked really nice.
It's just bright and it's happy. And, we'll be able to have baby showers and bridal showers and team meetings and stuff in the space. So I wanted somewhere that people could come in and not have to decorate and just, bring their warm bodies and their presents, and I'll have all the food and decor, and then they leave, so.
Yeah. Starting a new venture, it has to be fun, but it's not the easiest thing. What's the best moment of this journey you're in, like at the current situation? Mm-hmm. And then honestly, like what's the worst or the scariest, part of it?
So 2 days ago, I had a meeting with, I'm a firm believer that there's enough business out there for everybody. Mm-hmm. And even if you're in competing businesses, you don't have to be, there's no competition. You're your own competition. So find another business that does what you do and that's successful and link up with them. So for me, it's Gypsy Joint. The Weller family are a wealth of knowledge and information. And so Lori came and toured the space and she's like, you have to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And all I see is like dollar signs
ching,
and
ching,
zeros.
And her heart's like,
yes, like I had to go home and like take a nap. I was so overwhelmed. And it was things I didn't even think about or that, I haven't known. In the restaurants that I've been a part of, there's always been somebody else handling a lot of those decisions. So I didn't even know that were things. So of course I haven't, made sure that I had enough capital to get this operational. So we're just going to hustle until I get enough money, and it'll just delay opening a little bit, but it'll be fine.
It happens. So what's the best part? Is it the design? Is it just the vision? What's the best part about this?
The best part is really, in the end, I'm going to have a space that's going to be the hub for the community. We'll be able to have classes for Galveston Farmers Market. Will be able to have groups come in that are touring the city and see a historic Galveston space. So for me, the vision of what it's going to be, and knowing that 5 years from now, things like pulling permits with the city is not going to be on my mind at all.
It'll be done.
It's really important right now, but in 5 years it won't. And I'll be able to look back and say, look at all the cool things we got to do. And just being able to have a space, when we did government shutdown, we didn't have any space. Like we started in my living room, and then we moved to a school, and then we moved to Ziegler's. And so having a space that I don't have to go ask somebody if I can use it is going to be perfect. You know?
So in 5 years, do you see it having like a small daily menu or, stuff that you can maybe drop in, and then obviously catering menu? So
we will definitely have pop-ups and lunches and stuff like that. And once, I'm hoping that we can just get through the holidays. It's the crazy part of year for wedding seasons. October, November, and December are holidays. So by January, we'll be able to have a sit-down lunch where you can come and just get a pimento cheese sandwich and some fresh baked bread and just have a meal.
That's awesome.
So
that sounds good. La Cocina by Chef Mary Bass.
Yeah. And it's going to be bright and pretty.
Well, I saw those colors, and that's a lot of color. Like how many different shades did you have? It was like 9?
In the main dining room, it's 2 colors. And then in the side dining room, it's 4. And then all the tables and chairs are wood and classy. And if you have a dining room table and chairs, it's taking up some space. Let me know. I'm your girl.
I saw the picture of Natasha's daughter and your daughter at the store.
Cleaning.
Yeah, with the cleaning supplies.
Yeah, I spent $250 at Sam's on just degreaser.
Yeah. Were the kids happy, or were they looked like they were in good spirits?
I just constantly remind them this is a family business. There's no child labor laws in family business, and they, the opportunities that are afforded my children are because I work. And so, and my daughters will get to see, this is what a working mom does. She is still able to manage her family and work and, support the family. And, we get to do some really cool things. We get to take cool trips because I'm able to, work. So.
Yeah. When was the last trip that you went on?
I went to L.A. in the middle of August.
What's it like? What's the weather like?
It was 77, and I got out of my Uber.
Sounds terrible.
Oh, I got out of my Uber, and they're like, "We're sorry, it's so hot here." And I was like, "Sir, let me tell you just stop." And everywhere I went, they're like, "Oh my God, it's so hot." And I'm like, "This is why nobody can live here, because y'all can't afford it, because the weather's so beautiful, and why I can get a home in Texas for what you can get an apartment for.
Because it's 99 degrees right now, and this is the cool point of the day.
And it's 110, feels like, and 100% humidity, and nobody wants to walk outside.
Yes, so there was a friend that was in from California last week, and I was just saying to them, I don't think I could ever live there, honestly, because 77, and there's always a breeze. I get cold. I get cold real quick, and I'm just putting on a jacket.
That old man cardigan and
yes, I'm gonna be turning into Mr. Rogers. I was like, I can't live here. Maybe I would get used to it, but I doubt it. I keep a jacket here, like in my backpack.
God bless. No, I was like, this is so great. No, it was awesome. And I have the whole traveling thing happened in the wake of the shooting in Vegas. And so that 2-year anniversary is October 1st. And so I have all travel booked through October, and I will end my monthly travel at that point.
Really? You're not going to keep it going?
No, I got a business to run.
I'm traveling to Galveston to work.
Yes.
I'm hustling.
Listen, since Friday, I've made 9 trips to Galveston. That up till yesterday. Like that, it's a lot.
You just need a bed.
Well, I'll have one.
Yeah,
I'll have a futon. But God, gas is so expensive, and it's not even that bad. So I have all my trips that had been paid for months, and we'll go to Vegas and we'll go to Boston, and then I won't travel monthly anymore.
You know, you went on a trip with Stephanie Kovich.
Oh, to Denver.
Denver, Colorado, and that's almost like a segment time because I saw Mark Kovich. So they own Furniture Zone.
Yes.
Shout out to them. They do so much for the community. And we're going to touch on that.
So, listen, Chef's Table Charities is only a reflection of all of the awesomeness that is around us. You know, we're only able to do what we do because our community members, people like Stephanie and Mark and Jason and Chelsea with the van, and Courtney Sapp and Manish, and all of these amazing community members that anytime we ask for things, they're like, how can we help you? And they all come together and step up and help us. And so they, for the month of August, they donated 5% of their sales to Chef's Table Charities. And
I went and bought a piece. I
Did
saw
you?
that. Yeah, I had to go in, and then I made a short video because I love them and they partner here with us.
That's so awesome.
And then I had someone else saw that video. They went in and they bought some new beds and stuff
Heck
like
yeah.
that. So.
Well, so all of that money went towards our teachers. We did Bibbidi Boppity Back to School, where we were the fairy godmothers for the teachers. We had, I think it was 77 teachers. And we made, this was before the Clear the List kind of got really popular, which was an amazing campaign for teachers. But we had like 5 people buy things off of their Amazon wish list, but then the rest of it we had taken in some donations, and so we were able to give $50 gift cards to the rest of the over 70 teachers, and give them, just a little something. There's always something they need. They spend so much of their own money,
Bippity Boppity Back to School.
That came up from Kelly Redinger. That was her doing.
That's a cool name. And
it is. We'll do that every year. We'll be the fairy godmothers for the teachers.
So Mark Kovich and Stephanie Kovich, they are the owners of Furniture Zone. They do a lot. But Mark actually put a comment and said, ask Mary how she cuts a bell pepper. How do you cut a bell pepper, Mary?
Oh.
Is there like a special way?
Are you watching me, Mark? Like, what do you do? I cut like 10 bell peppers this morning because I'm taking food to the new Barnett Elementary. I had a big catering last weekend, and we had not a bunch, but we had extra food. And so I picked 3 locations to kind of take the leftovers to. And so I was cutting bell peppers. All right.
What's the appropriate way? Is there appropriate way?
Okay, yes.
Okay. We'll use my
your cod liver oil. What is it? Are you eating these?
Hey, try one. Open it up and chew it. No, trust me.
I don't eat fish, dude. I'm not eating this.
I promise you. Open it here. Open it up and eat it.
I'm gonna die. Let's talk about bell peppers.
Okay.
This is disgusting.
No, it's not. Open it up and eat it. I promise. Eat one. It's like lemon. Oh, come on.
Oh, let me tell. Remind me to tell you my lemon story when I'm done with this. All right. Here's your bell pepper stem side here.
All right.
You cut all the way down and cut the whole top of the bell pepper. So you'll end up with like a little ring that looks like a donut.
Okay.
Because the stem's in the middle. You flip it over on the other side and you cut the bottom.
Okay, I don't do that part, but keep going.
Okay, so you have a flat bottom now and a flat top. And in the middle, you have those little white connectors that hold the seeds in place. All right? So at this point, you've thrown your stem away. You have this little ring. You have this little disc from the bottom. And you slice down the side.
Really?
Yes. And it leaves the seeds and the little white connectors intact, and you just throw those away.
Can't you plant it?
Well, I mean,
okay.
Who's got time for that?
Not me.
Who has time to plant bell peppers? You have to dry the seeds first. Anyways, and then you slice it.
Okay.
And then all your little connectors and your seed pocket is in the trash.
So here's what I do, and that's a great way to do it.
Get away from these cod
Go
liver.
ahead and try some of this cod liver oil.
No, let's talk about some lemons real quick.
Okay.
So when I was in culinary school, a kid named Sam Callahan, we called him Spammy, came from Waco.
Okay.
And he was one of those just phenomenal cooks, and now he runs cheesecake factories, and so
nice.
It's cool. He's one of the only kids that made it out of culinary school with me too. So we were in baking and pastry. He dared me to drink half a cup of lemon extract, which is like lemon scented Everclear, like the worst. And I, to this day, still cannot do lemon flavored things too much. It was traumatic. Almost got kicked out of the program.
Yeah, you wouldn't like that.
No, I almost literally got kicked out of the culinary school.
Oh, man. That would have changed everything, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so two things happened. I was not meant to go to culinary school. I went to Alvin Community College for one semester because I thought I can get up at 8 a.m. and take a college algebra class. Yeah. Why wouldn't I be able? I go to high school and then life happens and you realize that that's just not practical. So I dropped all but speech in Alvin.
You kept that speech class?
Well, it was a 2 p.m. class. I could get to that. It was only from like 2 to 3 every day. So that was the only class I made it to.
Yeah.
So then I signed up in January at Galveston College to go to culinary school. I had a friend. His name was Thad Caltigran, and he was there. And
is he a pastor now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he encouraged me to come down there. And I signed up, but I didn't go talk to the director of the program, so they didn't know who I was. And so I signed up in the last class of the program, and the next class was the first class. But I had a new counselor, and she didn't know what she was doing. So she just let me sign up. So it was a fluke. So I show up at a class on the first day in flip-flops, blue jeans, my hair down, I looked all cute. Not culinary ready. And everybody's looking at me like, who's this idiot? And they were taking bets on how quickly she was going to drop. Like, I was going to drop.
Really?
Yes. And so when I made it, they were like, we can't believe, like, you're the one we figured would fail.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was just determined to, like, make it through, so.
You know, being in college, like, as a freshman going in, I went to Galveston College.
Yeah.
That's where I went, too. And I did the 8 a.m. class. And, from, where I lived in Lamarck. Getting over there, man, it was tough. And so a lot of the times I was just like, I'm not going. And I feel like I probably could have been better prepared. And I know it isn't the job of the counselors to like 100% prepare you, but I didn't know what I was doing, like picking classes and all that.
And I think that like when my kids go pick classes, I'm going to be a better, like, listen, 10 a.m. is probably the earliest you need to take a class. Like 8 a.m. classes are for, people who don't have social lives and just want to stay home all day. So
or like are living like right there. Maybe even.
Well, I lived off of 517 and 646 and was driving to Galveston every day. So it was even a further stretch for me to get, where to get there. So it was a solid 30 minutes. So if I did not, class started at 9 a.m. culinary school. So I only had like 2 tardies and like 2 absences.
And then how long into the program did you realize like, hey, this is my passion?
So by the time I got through the first class, which was the hardest class of the program, I made a C. And I was like, well, this isn't going to work. But then the next class was the first class of the program, and it was so simple because I just made it through the hardest stuff. And so I was like, well, if I can do this, and then all these newbies are coming in to take the first class, and
like
I'm like,
rookies.
Don't cut yourself. Don't cut yourself. Like, keep all your fingers intact. We're breaking down like 80 chickens an hour and stuff. Oh my God,
goodness.
It was the worst.
I don't even know what that means.
It means you take a whole frozen chicken and you separate all the parts.
Pieces?
Yes. So it was, instead of buying like, here's a bag of breast or here's a bag of thighs, we took whole chickens and broke them down, and then we saved all the spines and necks and everything and made stock. And so it was a whole process. So like there was a whole week of just chicken butchery and stock making, but I had already done all the hard, like it was just a weird scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But
there was a while my son, he was like, I want to be a chef. I think he just likes making a mess, like with baking and stuff.
Well, then he definitely doesn't need to be a chef. Like, don't come into this career field thinking you're going to be a mess. But
you got to be clean.
There is a way in any industry you go in. There's a way to be successful and a way to make money. So you've just got to figure out how to do that. Not every line cook is a chef. Chefs. That term, you don't graduate culinary school and then you're automatically a chef. You've got to be able to manage a staff and manage labor costs and run foods. And restaurants are the hardest industry to be in. It's so variable.
Every day is different. Like
every
weather,
single day is different. Yeah, it's the weather. If the cost of avocados soared to like $80 a case from $40 a case, that's double. So imagine going into a place with a fixed menu. Reprinting menus are so expensive. So you're losing money just on guacamole. Every plate of guacamole you're losing money off of because the cost of avocados went up. And, that happened a couple of years ago with limes. And so, it's things that general consumers don't think about, but people like me, we lose sleep.
Right. I remember going to Jack in the Box before, and it was like, hey, due to a shortage, we don't have tomatoes.
Yeah. And that's and lettuce, when all the lettuce incidents happen. And so it's really important, for me as a smaller business, I try to make as many partnerships with local growers and local producers so that I don't have to worry about.
Hey, do you remember Marcus Galvez?
Yes.
Yeah. So
he
Marcus
lived a block. So we all lived in that block together.
Yeah, he lived in the street right behind me,
and
you lived on the one on the other side.
Carriage, and I was on Bogotto.
So my wife reminded me of this because they were in the same grade and we all went to a very small school, and he was one of my best friends.
Yeah.
That in high school, whenever going to Wendy's, McDonald's, ordering that 39-cent cheeseburger back in school, he would always get the lettuce and tomato and onions, whatever it came with it. He didn't eat it. He would peel it off and be like, I paid for this. I paid $39.
And what'd he do with it?
He just throw it away, and he's like, I paid for this. And just kind of, I don't know, just being
wasting.
They're just wasting it. But he's like, well, I paid for it, so I'm going to make sure that I get it, even if it's my portion.
If he were making a separate salad with it, I could support what he was doing. But, there's things like refusing a straw at a restaurant or not taking a to-go box of food you're not going to eat. Not only does that help environmental waste, in my house, we don't use paper towels. We don't use paper plates. My catering company is moving away from plastic into bamboo disposables. I refuse straws. Everywhere I go, my children now refuse straws. It's just, those are environmental things. But for a restaurant, it's a cost thing.
It's a cost.
Every single straw, every single to-go box, every single, if you go to a restaurant and they give you a bunch of condiments in your bag, Chinese restaurants are the worst. Tell them when you're ordering, I don't need all your duck sauce.
One cookie, one sauce.
One cookie, one sauce. Don't give me all of this, because think about it adding up. Or if you're a worker in somebody's restaurant, if you put an entire handful of ketchup in their bag, it's such a waste. Environmentally, it's just going to go in the trash, which is not going to dissolve for thousands and thousands of years. And for a restaurant, it can make or break, your manager's bonuses, the ability to keep your employees employed, all feeds back to a packet of ketchup.
How do you feel about the paper straws?
So they're okay, but they dissolve.
Yeah, it dissolves.
Just drink out of the cup. And if you have such a phobia about using a restaurant cup, then bring your own cup and have them fill it. Wash your own cup and bring it with you, and just Starbucks let you do it.
That's true. Starbucks does.
And they give you 15 cents off your cup they give you a portion of your drink off, 10 cents or something off your drink for bringing your own cup. I didn't know
that. My wife, she has all these cups, and for Christmas sometimes she's like, oh, this cup is nice. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to go get a cup.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was a savings.
Well, Target does the same thing. They give you 15 cents if you bring your own bags for every bag you use.
Really? I didn't know that either.
Yep.
So I've been to other states where they charge
There's no bags. Yes, they charge you. Like Aldi. Mm-hmm. Aldi has got, everybody should follow the Aldi method, and require people to be responsible putting your shopping carts back. You want to talk about kindness? Be kind and put your shopping cart back in the corral. That is the kindest thing anybody can do, is walk the 3 steps to the 9 corrals that are in the Walmart parking lot and put your cart away. It's so simple. Yeah,
those guys and girls and sometimes kids in the summer.
So hard.
Man, with the heat, I see it. I always put my cart back. And if I'm close and parked and my hands are well, I just leave the cart there.
Yes.
And just carry it in. Carry it to my car.
What difference does it make? Did that hurt your soul? Is your soul affected by not putting a cart? It doesn't change anything.
It makes me better.
It makes you a better person.
Getting a curl in, working out.
It's one of my craziest things. I actually heard one of the female traveling missionary speakers talk about it one time and just said, this is you're doing God's work putting the cart back. Put the cart back. It's silly. But
yeah, here's a comment from Amber. She said, hey, I save my ketchup for when I run out at home.
Yeah.
Don't throw it away. Use it.
Don't throw it away. Use it. Or take it to, there's tons of places that will accept all those condiments. There's people who need stuff like that. And so I hate waste.
Maybe not the duck sauce. Maybe not that much duck sauce.
But, then you can get creative. That duck sauce would be delicious on a pork loin.
Mm.
So cut all those little packets open, mix it with some Thai chili paste, and, put it on your pork loin.
That sounds good. So
we should have a whole condiment session. Like, here's how to use all your random Asian condiments.
Yeah, all the ones from Chick-fil-A.
Oh, I love Chick-fil-A.
I got Polynesian, Chick-fil-A sauce, buffalo sauce, obviously ketchup.
Well, and see, that's why Chick-fil-A's got a smart structure. They'll ask you, how many sauces do you need? Not what sauce do you want.
And they're not shy. If I was like, I need 5.
Yeah, they'll give them to you.
You're going to use them.
Yes, they're gold. But then I always like put them back in the little container and send them on their way.
Mm-hmm. Some other places that will remain nameless.
Run out of their condiments.
Yeah, they'll run out.
Or they'll charge you 25 cents.
Yeah, it's like you get one. How many nuggets did you get? You get one ketchup and you get one like sweet and sour sauce.
But so that goes back to employees who and customers who abused it. It costs so much money. You know, I really wish that everybody I think everybody should have to work retail where you've got to fold clothes, you know, or I worked at Williams-Sonoma, like you had to put everybody, like you pick up something and walk across the store and go. I make my kids, if they pick up something, I tell them, no, go put it back in the exact spot you got it out of. Because it just takes so much work to get everything back. And it costs, having to have an extra employee to keep up with stuff makes your products cost more, which then affects everybody in the end. So
hey, check this out. It's Scott Kitchen. Said, hey, Mary Eisenhower Bass. The Michael Jackson.
Are we talking about the Scott Kitchen?
It's Mark Scott Kitchen, American Idol fame. And
listen, Mark Scott Kitchen, I knew him when he came into town for one of our trips. What was it? One of the trips to Ireland with checks, and he couldn't cash his checks. So I had to take him to my bank and cash his checks for him. That was a long time. Did you
charge a fee? You're like, here's a $1 fee.
No, he rode with me. It was cool. He was new in town, and I was one of the few people that like drove. And so Mark Scott and I went to Associated Federal Credit Union and cashed his checks. Man. That's one of my favorite memories. But, I mean, we traveled all over Europe together. It was so great. That was amazing.
As young people, do you think, like, looking back, like, is that normal? Like,
no.
I don't know. Do kids do that now?
Well, no. Kensington has the opportunity to go with her school to D.C. and Costa Rica this summer doing different excursions. But it's like, for the 2 trips, it's almost $8,000. We paid like $2,000 on the high end, but it was such bulk, you know, like we would rent the plane.
Yeah.
Like the entire plane.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Like, God, we had so much fun.
I remember even back then, because my sister, she went to Ireland. I never had the opportunity to go. I got to go to Scotland, which is amazing. But getting to go airport security, like, you could go to the gate. Like, it was different, you know?
It was different. I remember Nick Felder, like, everybody had 2 luggages they had to check. One was our costumes and one was their bag, right? And so you were responsible for those. All the boys had to have 2.
Yeah.
It was a trunk and your suitcase. And most of the boys packed backpacks so that they didn't have to carry 2 bags. And so one of them we had some cowboy thing, and they had all these plague guns in the suitcases that we checked.
Are you serious?
And we got flagged, and Missy Perez is like, because we didn't declare that they were in there, and we're checking these bags with these play guns. Oh, it was
for a drama
for a theater. Yeah, it was just drama. So,
wow,
yeah, it was crazy.
So Nick, I remember he played like in those Texas City like championship teams, and he was a big. And then his brother Aaron. It
might have been Aaron Felder that did it. One of the Felder boys got caught with guns.
Aaron played a horn. Nick played football.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
And Nick runs a really successful gymnastics academy in Pearland.
Yeah, very cool. Memories coming back. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Mark Scott Kitchen.
Saying hi. He said the good old Honda.
The good old Honda.
Faithful Honda.
Yes, it was white. I love you for remembering that. What funny memories you have when you're, you're young.
It's 10 o'clock. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. I'm Gardy, and I'm talking to Chef Mary Bass. Chef, is there anything else you'd like to share today?
Chef's Table Charities, we need you to go like our Facebook page. Chef Mary Bass, please go like my Facebook page. Friday, we've got deadlines for the I Will Be Your Friend shirt. So if you want to be somebody's friend, go and grab a shirt. And we'll have more kindness shirts coming. We've got a Hug It Out Bro and some other funny kindness-related shirts. And then go like the Santa Fe Potluck page and come out. You don't have to be a Santa Fe resident to come and enjoy the potluck. And we'd love to see all the communities come together and enjoy that with us.
Get to know your neighbors.
And get to know your neighbors. And then La Cocina coming soon.
All right.
To a 39th Street near you.
In Galveston, Texas. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be great.
This is KHEA Radio. Coming up next, we have some elevation. Stay tuned. You're going to see some behind the scenes hanging out with me. And we're going to bring Butler's Courtyard in and learn about everything they have going on. They've been very busy.
I like it.
Facebook.
Hold
Appreciate
tight.
you guys.
We love you.
You're in for a ride. We're about to switch it up, some gears.
Swap the girls.
And Mary, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Hanging out.
For the huge.
Oh, yeah. So.
Hold tight.
So, hey, let me know, what do you guys got going on today? Feel free to share this out, and then let me know how I can help you. Maybe you have an opportunity that you want to share with an audience, and maybe you'd be a perfect guest for us today. But we're going to be talking about Butler's Courtyard. We're going to be talking about the wedding venue that they have. There's also other events that they do as well, so we're going to be touching on that. We're going to get the cameras readjusted. What's up? How's it going? Have a seat. Okay. So I'm going to have to switch the cameras around.
I want to be the least on camera.
So you want to be the least on camera? That would be that one. Because I got this bad boy right here that's going to be picking up everybody. So Lindsay's
the face.
Lindsay's the face and in the side profile right here. So are y'all doing good?
I don't know how good my profile is. Yes, we're doing great.
Awesome. So we're streaming on Facebook, and we're on Channel 46, and then we're going to get it going back on the FM as well here in a bit once I get these shots set up, but it'll be good to go.
Okay.
So somebody's like, tell me a joke.
Well, this is not a joke. This is a serious comment. I was going to apologize about my voice, but then I realized how amazing it sounds. Very much like my stinky shoes. My stinky
From
shoes.
Fred. And everybody's like,
go.
oh, it's so
you
good.
You cannot be our friend if you don't get that reference.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then she loses the voice, and that was tough.
I'm trying not to cough too much so that I can keep this amazing sound that I
So
have.
what do you got going on? Is you just a little bit under the weather or what?
I've had a pretty debilitating sinus infection and been in bed the last 3 days. So
my
today's
goodness.
my first day among the living.
Dang.
What's going on with you?
Not too
Look
much.
at your sparkly earpiece.
I know, I noticed that.
You like my in-ears? So I play music, but these are ones that I've used for years, like as like in-ear monitors, so you can hear yourself, and they're pretty nice.
They're very fancy.
So I started, I said, man, why don't I do that instead of having to put it on? It messes up my hair.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm trying to work with what I got here, and any little bit helps. So I decided to try it out, and so it's been working okay. So yeah, I'm still getting y'all's camera set up because I goofed up, but
okay.
Biggie. I'm having a hard time with
seeing. So here's what we'll do. I'll look at you whenever I'm through those, and I can see one eye on this side and one eye on the other.
This is a challenge for me.
Yeah.
To not see his face.
I like to see.
What if you like scooched over and that thing swivels? I think.
Yeah, I think I got my shot. I got it,
and
guys.
then I move.
I'm gonna pop it. Yeah, then you moved. Okay. Actually, it's okay. I'll be able to adjust. And
Okay.
Lindsay, can you pull your mic? Yeah, pop it out towards you.
No. I need to do like last
better?
week, I guess I did like a watch party and I got you guys a ton of viewers, so I'm going to do that again.
Let's get this party
Even though
started.
I have very limited understanding of Facebook watch parties.
Yeah, Facebook watch parties are where it's at. Like if you're watching on Facebook, you can even put this into like a Facebook group like Talk of League City. You can start a watch party inside of the group and people will join on. Especially
we could do that in our couples group. Are you just going on your personal?
I'm just going to put it on my personal if I can remember how. Let's see.
you got this.
I can do it.
Just kind of sing it. Like I'm going to do it
I
like
can
my
handle
stinky shoe.
this. My sister, I don't know if she's listening, but I told her I was going to do that and she was like, you would never. Challenge accepted.
That's right.
Yeah, okay, I don't know how to do a watch party apparently. Hold on. Isn't it just like when you go to share it out or something?
Yeah, share it and you should be able to.
Why won't it let me share it?
Oh.
Start this party.
How is back to school going for you?
For me,
Yeah.
school's
For your
going
house?
good. Yeah. So my son, he is in the 2nd grade now. And so this is the 2nd week. He hasn't complained in the morning. He's been a little cranky at times, but I'm cranky to it. I'm sure everybody is. But no, it's been going good. And so last week there was no homework. This week there's been a couple of things of homework. And, I think with anything, whenever you go into a new transition, you have to start out with a solid routine. And so for him, I'm just like, okay, what's your homework? Do you have any? Good. Let's knock it out as soon as you get home. So that way he doesn't get used to being like, I want to play on the iPad, go outside, watch TV.
Right.
It's just like setting that expectation.
So for yours, it's better to do the homework right when you get home?
As soon as you get home.
I have friends that advise me to let them play, eat
Unwind.
a snack, have some downtime.
Well, that's
so maybe it depends on the kid.
It's probably a good parenting thing, so that way. But then I know for a fact, like our time, it'll run out, and then I'll get stuck on something. So it's like, hey, well, let's knock it out now. And this is what my dad did with me.
Yeah, I'm more of a get it over with type myself.
Yeah,
so.
my dad was like, if you do it now, then you can do whatever you want later. So that's what I've been trying to, just because that's what he did to me.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I think I got it in our couples group.
Are you low on minerals or what's happening with your multi-men here?
My throat, I'm not sick, but my throat, just because I talk a lot, has been.
That throat spray has been life-saving.
It's been awesome. So yeah, every like 2 hours or like when I think about it.
There you go.
Y'all hear that?
Congoplex. You got your Congoplex going.
Well, this is what Choppa's told me to do. He was like, take this, that, and then that is needed. And so I've noticed. He asked me, he's like, so last week was my first week, and this is the second. He's like, how much do you feel any difference? I said, I probably feel like 40 to 50% better. So I'm hoping this week I'm going to keep the routine going.
I'm going to chop a failure story today, so we shouldn't go there probably. I caved to the antibiotics.
Oh.
I had to.
Sometimes you got to. Life goes on. Y'all are busy.
I mean, I got kids that need me. I got,
a Lindsay that
needs you. my buddy that needs me. Yeah, I can't just, I had to take.
What are you drinking?
This is peppermint tea.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't drink tea.
Oh, really?
I do not drink hot tea, cold tea, iced tea.
Work on that.
I drink green tea every day at least.
My wife loves green tea. Whenever I was young, like tea, like if you go, I'm thinking like a wedding, like the town where I grew up in, like the Knights of Columbus, like, oh, there's a quinceañera or like a wedding, and it was water and an igloo of old watered down tea.
Iced tea.
And anytime I think of like iced tea, I get that. And I remember trying it like, I want Coke, like throwing it as a kid, just being a brat. So yeah, to this day, I never enjoyed it. I mean, I haven't tried it since I was like 4.
I would
but
try it again. I mean, there's a tea, like this is peppermint tea. Last night I had like an elderberry tea. I do chamomile tea sometimes. We have a positivity that we drink at Butler's when we need to pick me up. So
we have like the acai or the passion fruits.
Yeah,
too.
I like the passion fruit.
So what's going on with you guys? I know y'all had an active shooter event, and then there was talks about another one. We got 20 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and put us on the FM now so we can get into this.
All right.
If that's cool.
Sure.
Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Right now it is 10:09. I'm Gardy, and we have a special guest in studio. We have Butler's Courtyard. We have Amber, and we have Lindsay. Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Good.
We're doing good.
Even you say good, but you got this different voice going on. But it's all about positive
I have on
vibes.
my sticky shoes today.
It sounds really good on this.
It does sound good.
You're coming in strong. Right. So Butler's Courtyard, can you all share, where you're located, what y'all offer if somebody has not had the opportunity to hear of you guys yet?
Yes, so we are in the historic district of League City, and we are a wedding and event venue. We've been there for 17 years, so hopefully you've at least heard of us by now, but if not, well, welcome. Check out our Facebook page, website, Instagram. There's lots that we can do for you.
I know there was an event that y'all had, and I'd like for y'all to share on it, and it's pretty necessary. Yeah. It's not something super easy to talk about, but an active shooter training session.
Yep.
Can you share about that?
Yes. So, I'll just start with our personal reason behind what we consider to be the community service by hosting those. I actually attended the training Lieutenant Wojtyna offered with my mom's group, Bay Area Mothers of Multiples. We've been on the show with you too. And he held a training for us for active shooter preparedness, how to handle a emergency situation with your family. And then Butler's Courtyard went to Las Vegas to attend our first wedding MBA, big, huge conference there, annual. And we were there during the shootings. So thankfully, we were not near the actual shooting, but you would not have known it by what we were experiencing. There was just total chaos. There's a lot to the Vegas story that you will never hear, that will never be told. But in our head, we were in it. We didn't know what was happening. So that training kicked in for us. And we knew exactly what to do, and it was basically like Wojtina's face and voice were right here with me, reminded me of the steps to take, allowed me to keep a level head as the leader. I mean, it was, I don't like to use this word too often, but 2 of my employees and my little sister who God entrusted me with 36 years ago to protect. And so just trying to keep us all together. They all, of course, were, working through the steps too. And so it became very important to us after that to not only thank Wojtina, we sent him a big, huge edible arrangement to the police department the next week, but we wanted to host those events at least annually. So we've pretty much kept that commitment. I think there was one time that we didn't get to do it exactly annually, but and then this year, because of what happened, we already had the date scheduled, and then El Paso and Ohio happened, and so of course the demand increased, and we started having people calling us, begging us, the tickets are sold out, can we still come? So we actually added a second date, and so that was yesterday. So we just did them we just had 2 in August, right?
We did.
Because the first one was pretty much no more room available.
Right. And we did work on a waiting list, and so we told people, just come, you might have to stand, but it worked out because, of course, people get tickets and then something comes up and they can't make it. So there were plenty of seats. And then, of course, Wojtina is amazing. He has incredible gift to teach and train, and he does it in such a way that he prepares you, not scares you. And he really focuses on the angle of if you're out with your children, because he's a parent and he knows most of the people in the room are parents. So I really urge you, Gardy, next time you need to try to make it, bring your wife. It's really valuable information, what to look for, and not necessarily just an active shooter, but any kind of an emergency, a fire, if you're in a restaurant. Your brain is going to go to what it remembers, and what it remembers is walking through the front door. Well, guess what? Your brain and the 100 other people in that room walked through that same door. You're all going to try to exit through that same door, and that might be where the fire is, or the shooter's coming in, or whatever it may be. So he just really teaches you a different way of thinking, where to sit in a movie theater, how to look around in a restaurant, for instance. So
should you always kind of scope out a room whenever you walk in, like a building, anything?
Yes. All the time.
100%. Know your exits and know like the unusual exits. Like, for instance, every restaurant is going to have an exit through the kitchen, right? That's fire code. Well, a lot of people don't realize that, or they don't snap to that in an emergency. Your brain goes to where you were familiar with. So
the front door. Obviously, I've never been in the kitchen. I've worked in a pizza place before, but there's an exit in the back that you don't think about.
Exactly. And so even if you think you know how to handle a situation like that, going to these trainings really does help your brain with its muscle memory a little bit, and you're able to recall the steps better. And the training changes ever so often as these, people get
learn more.
We
learn more.
And I think it's very important to be educated, to know what to do if you're ever in a situation. There's been something that has kind of recently happened where I've seen people kind of get in a frenzy on social media over something that was, I don't want to say it's nothing, but
the fireworks at the mall.
Yeah, there's fireworks at the mall, or there was even like a Baybrook Mall. I think there was like a robbery, and then people immediately
But you should react. Like, I would rather you overreact than underreact.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he makes that point in the training. If, let's say we're in a board meeting. Okay, we're all executives. We're in a board meeting, and you hear fireworks in your building. Well, or some sort of loud noise in your building.
Car
backfires,
like
whatever. You jump up, run out of the building, fear for your life.
And a lot of people are too insecure to make that decision.
They freeze up.
What, nobody else is moving.
They don't want to be embarrassed. Okay, so worst case scenario, you come back into the room embarrassed. Or it really was a shooter and you've just saved your life. What's more important to you? So it's not normal to hear fireworks at the mall. You should react to that. It's not normal to hear glass shattering and people screaming. And that was what we experienced in Vegas. No, we weren't near the, mass shootings. But we saw 1,000 people running and screaming, he has a gun. So you have to react to that. And that's the point. You can't freeze up. You have to react. And you have to keep cool and keep it moving.
So y'all had committed to doing, an active shooter training session about once a year.
Yep.
Had one. Was it last month?
We had one yesterday
and then 2 weeks
ago.
And is that something y'all will continue to do annually or as needed?
Yes, we've committed to do that annually, and I have to say, as a business, that is a cost to me, and
Right.
so the reason I do it, I don't make any money on it. It's a community service, is the way I see it, and it's, God has put it on my heart that that's what we need to do because we learned from it, and it was potentially, helpful to our lives. We need to help other people, and so that's why when people would call and say, "Can we come?" we didn't have the heart to tell them no because
There's no room, right?
if they were in a bad situation a few days later, I never would have forgiven myself for that. So, but another positive to those events is our amazing friends at Red River Cantina sponsored. And so they knew we were going to have all these people here around dinner time. And the first week, we just asked them for maybe chips and dips. And they completely shocked us yesterday and sent an entire feast, basically, of fajitas, an entire setup of fajitas.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually homesick yesterday, and Jessica called me, and she was like, "Amber, I'm freaking out. I think we got somebody's wrong food. It's they send us somebody else's catering." And
Like as a business owner, we're like, don't say anything, or like double check. There's like two ways of thinking,
yeah,
and probably
no, of course we double
the
checked,
shoulder like pops
and
up this
they,
side.
they wanted to gift us that, and they knew we had hungry people there at dinner time, and it was important that they be fed and be able to listen to the information. So a big public thank you to our friends Rick and Kevin Kirsch and Jim Molina at the Cantina. They are just so generous anytime we need something.
Were you
They're
like,
great
I'm
partners.
not that sick? You got in the car. It's like, I mean, I don't feel well, but.
I'll tell you what, I am a vegetarian, but every time I see their fajitas, I'm tempted to just try.
Yeah. So I've done the veggie cleanse, with Dr. Choppa, right?
Yeah.
And I've eaten every stitch of vegetable off of a fajita tray. Like my wife orders, like, just push those to the side. I want all of that because it has that flavor
Right.
and the juice. I don't know if that's cheating or not, but
on the cleanse, it's a little cheaty, but yeah.
At least I'm trying, right?
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
Something.
Yeah, it's better than the
Than
queso.
cookies. Yeah.
So I was looking in my calendar next month, September 27th at 6 p.m. at Butler's Courtyard. There is an event that I know people need to learn about. Can y'all share what's going on?
Yep,
Go for
that's
it,
going to
Lindsay.
be our 3rd annual block party. So this is another event that we do within the community. We have food trucks out that are a variety of delicious foods. We have DJs outside playing music. There's also some indoor availability for tours. So if you are interested in Butler's Courtyard for an event, this is a great time to come. But this is more so just fun for everybody.
Is it free? How much is it to get in?
Nope, it's completely open. So, of course,
Free family fun.
exactly. Pet friendly,
bring your pet.
community, bring anybody.
That's awesome. So always looking for fun stuff to do, and it's even better whenever it's free.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a blast.
Yeah, and this event kind of has a little bit of a cool story behind it. When my sister and I took over 2 years ago, I guess, 3 years ago. I've lost track of my years. But we needed an event that was ours that, my kind of like our coming out party, I guess. Like, here we are.
We're like, Mom, you're not the boss of me anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing my own event.
Exactly. No, I don't think they'll be offended by this, but we needed to show the community that the younger generation had taken over. We could do things that were a little more hip. We were getting a lot of requests for food trucks, but wondering the logistics, how would it work? So I said, well, let's try it out. Let's have an event and have some food trucks. And so our team specializes in brainstorming, and we snowballed it into this awesome block party, and it's casual. We wear basically this jeans with intent. We can answer some sales questions, we can give a tour, but in general it's very casual. We have heard a million times over the years, well, I've always wanted to come here but didn't have a reason to come. I wasn't invited to a wedding. Well, here's your reason. So our neighbors love it. It's also a way to thank our neighbors within the historic district for always kind of putting up with us and supporting us and never complaining or anything. And we go hand these out to them in the weeks before, and invite them.
Does that help? I think if you're invited to the party, at least everybody's cool with it for the most part.
We have the best neighbors. They are so awesome, and we're so grateful for them, and this is a good way to show that gratitude. And it's super fun for us. We get to use the venue in a different way than gets to use every weekend, so it's fun.
That is a lot of fun. We get to set up tables more in the yard area where normally that's where we do wedding ceremonies. So it's more block party, yard party, outdoor friendly, and I love the setup. That's where we started doing the string lights, which is now one of our most signature looks, and it's one of the most fun events that we have.
Here's a question. This is from Linda. She said, are y'all looking for vendors for the event?
We're not currently looking for vendors, but thank you for asking, Linda. We already have some sponsors on board. Living Well Clinical Nutrition. Dr. Chapa is already, again, going to be a sponsor. Chef of the House, I believe, wants to sponsor, and then we're working on a couple more. We are very choosy with our sponsors. We want to make sure they are League City local businesses, and they need to be people that give back to the community. And then we partner with the Houston Food Truck Association to handle the food trucks. So,
how many do you think are going to be out there? How many were out there last year?
We usually have 3 food trucks and 1 dessert truck. This year, I believe we'll have 3 food and 2 dessert trucks. I do know Cool Cow Creamery.
Awesome.
It will be there. My sister has connected with them, and then through our connection with you guys, they're happy to be there, I know. And so I'm excited because I have yet to taste their ice cream. I hate to admit, but and so I'm excited for that, and my kids are. We also have a balloon artist that we pay for so the kids can just enjoy that. Our DJ's out there, you know, we might be working on a couple of other ideas, but it's really fun. And last year it poured down rain, and the Lord did that for a reason, to show us that we can handle it, because we always feared, what if we pick a date and it rains? Well, now we know. He showed us. Well, let me show you what happens. We manage it. We handle it. We moved it under the tent. We moved the food trucks to the back, and it worked perfect. Yeah. And our community still showed up, and we still had a ball under that tent with the music going. It was so fun. So this is rain or shine. And then for the first year, I know it's the anniversary of Harvey this week. The first year was just a couple weeks after Harvey. And we actually considered canceling it, and had a lot of people advising us to cancel it because we didn't want to seem insensitive.
Yeah.
But the more we thought about it, the more we thought, no way, man.
Normalcy.
We need normalcy. We need a reason, something fun. All these people are working all day, mucking their houses, helping their friends. They need something to look forward to. Their kids need something lighthearted and fun. And we wanted to celebrate, you know, with our neighbors at our area, you know, was fine, so that we were able to help other people. And so we had so many people come out and thank us, you know, thank you for giving me a place to get out of my mucky house and come and socialize with my neighbors. And it was a good way to bring the community together for something positive. So it's been an amazing event so far, and we're excited to see what God does with it this year.
You know, y'all are a wedding and event venue. So not every event that y'all put on is going to be sunshine. How do you handle a wedding? This is probably the most important day of everybody's life.
Yeah,
this new couple. How do you handle that if the weather isn't appropriate? What do y'all usually do?
Right, and because we live off the lovely Gulf, you never know. We get rainy weather all the time, year round. So that is something that's a little different about our community compared to some other locations. And that's the number one question that these couples come in and have is, what if it rains on my wedding day? Well, first
of all, it's in a song. It's like rain on your wedding day. That's like the worst case scenario, right?
Well,
it's not even ironic, but still, it's
good luck.
Supposedly, it's
it
good
is?
Luck.
Okay, cool.
It rained on my wedding day.
Yep. And
it's been great so far.
I'm going with the good luck thing for me.
I think so too.
New beginning.
The other reality is I never like playing the what if game with a couple.
Yeah.
We can't start that. Okay. Nope. But what you can do is trust us. Ultimately, we've done this 17 years, and it's rained in 17 years worth of time. So the great thing is technology nowadays. We have an awesome heads up at our venue. We have an indoor and outdoor location. Our outdoor space has a wedding tent covering the courtyard, so it's accommodating whether we have some lovely rain or not. And it makes our flowers bloom beautifully, and the landscaping looks so fresh. And there's lots of positives to it.
That's awesome.
We always have a plan B and sometimes a plan C.
That's right.
And so that's why your venue is important, that you pick people who know what they're doing so that they can handle those things that come up.
I've seen some really amazing pictures on overcast and rainy days.
And I experienced something a few months ago. It was Jessica was the coordinator, and she was a worship leader. I don't know the church, and her father was the minister. Let me take out this cough drop while I'm telling my story. We're keeping it classy today, guys. her intention was to lead some worship music during her service with her groom. And they had the band all set up outside. Everything was perfect. Out of nowhere, here comes a rainstorm. And she had a lot of guests. I don't know if Jessica's listening. I can't remember the number, but it was well up to close to 150, I think.
Wow.
And I get my team, like, okay, first we're going to get out all the umbrellas. Here's what's going to happen. Like, it's going to rain. Be ready to first get the bridesmaids and then the family and then the guests. Well, Jessica, we're still trying. We're like, let's just skim down the aisle. Maybe it'll hold off. It started pouring down rain as they're sending the bridesmaids down the aisle. She keeps the bride back. I go under. They had the tent already set up, tables, chairs. They had the big wall, so it was pretty packed. I go in. They had a big head table. I go in with the team. We start just parting those seas, just moving everything to the side. We get all the guests under the tent. Then my team goes out in the pouring rain, brings in all the chairs. We wipe them all down. We get everybody settled. I got on the microphone. Luckily, this was the church in attendance, so they were all keeping a positive attitude. Not every group does that.
Right.
So we were blessed with that, and I just said, we have no control over this. The Lord gives us what he gives us, so we just have to roll with it. And we comforted the bride. We prayed with her and her family, which, for me, that was super intimidating. Like, they asked me to pray. I'm like, well, your dad's the preacher. He should pray. But
shouldn't you be praying?
Yeah, but I did, and it was wonderful, and it calmed them. And we got the bride ready to walk down the aisle. She was going to go. We were going to move it into the tent. And I told her, the vibe in there is amazing, and I think this is where you're supposed to be, because to do this music that you want to do, I just feel like this is where you're supposed to be. We are about to walk her down the aisle. The sun comes out, of course, and I point over to her. There's a huge rainbow behind the tent. So that was amazing. And, of course, she starts smiling. She's like, of course the sun comes out. And I was like, yeah, look at the rainbow, And so that was an amazing sign. Then we go under the tent. They start the ceremony. They lead the worship. And I have a video on my phone. I need to send it to you at some point. But I have been to a lot of weddings. It's my favorite now, because the emotion when she's singing. I didn't recognize one song she sang, but the other song she sang was The Overwhelming Love of God, and that's my favorite song right now. And so, the vibes, everybody was singing, and because we were in the tent, it was all, the Holy Spirit was able to just stay right in there.
And probably the sound, too.
The sound was amazing. Everybody could hear her. Everybody could participate easier. It would have been beautiful in the yard, but it wouldn't have had that feeling of the Holy Spirit just wrapping you.
That's cool.
It's now my favorite wedding. So when it rains, there's a reason, there's a purpose. And even at the end, she said that there was the reason. We were supposed to be all together in one room. It was way more intimate. So,
and there's probably something neat about the uncertainty, but with y'all being experts and, we talked about training and just knowing what are you going to do if you get in that situation. It helps to have a venue that knows, okay, this is what we do. We've done it before. We can do it again. And if this doesn't work, we have A, B, C, D. And, we have something that we can make work. And that there's a big, I guess, like a preparedness correlation for what y'all do that kind of ties in, I would assume.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We definitely, every new event team member that comes in, we go through certain training. We prepare them ahead of time, because just like the situation, you never know which wedding we're going to have to do that quick turnaround. So we've all got to be prepared.
How many weddings have y'all done this year? Do y'all know?
Ooh, that's a good question. We're in August now, so I'm going to have to do some math here. Feel free to move on to the next question.
If Sarah's in the office, she can look at the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's usually like a couple of months. Or y'all marry people. I assume people will like the weekends or something. But y'all marry all the time, right?
Oh yeah, we
Text
do.
Sarah.
So Friday, Saturday, and then the majority of Sundays. That's usually a given. We've done a few weekday weddings already this year. I know for sure we did Thursday in April. And we have what we call pop-up weddings. And so our pop-up weddings are for couples that are looking to have their ceremony and reception within 45 to 60 days or less.
Wow.
And so we run special packages for those, because planning is quick turnaround. And we've done it in a matter of days before. So on our end, we're fine. It's more the family. Can everyone be here? Do you have your dress? Get your flowers, whatever the priorities are for you.
Yeah. But sometimes people are like, I'm getting married in 2 years, or I'm getting married in a year. Is this calendar date, open?
So this month we did a 2-week turnaround for a couple, and then we also booked couples in 2021. So you never know with who's going to walk through the door, and we're here able to accommodate them no matter what. So that is an option for a lot of couples. It's something that they can do instead of going to the justice of the peace. Maybe we can come and do it at Butler's Courtyard too. So a few of those usually end up being on the weekday though, because we do get those Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays booked out maybe a year or 6 months in advance. So what's left are weekdays.
And then with y'all being here for 17 years, people don't have to worry about, are they going to be here next year? Are they going to be here in a year and a half or whenever you want to actually do it?
Yeah, we hope.
So.
Yeah.
That's what we pray for.
Yeah.
I got you.
But that is the thing. You're right. It does circulate.
We're more established for sure. And
Cool. Hey, so with that, the 3rd annual, Butler's Courtyard block
yes,
party.
Are you gonna come this
food
year?
truck. Yeah, I put it in my calendar. So it is there. So the only thing I did not put in my calendar.
And put it in her calendar. Let's be real.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Apparently I didn't put it in the calendar was today. Which we
I wasn't going to call you out on that, but
I'll call myself out.
Yeah.
So I felt so bad.
I saw Mary's, because obviously I'm friends with Mary on Facebook.
Right.
So we go way back to the cake ball days of League City, Main Street League City. But I saw her post like, Gardy needs someone on the show tomorrow. And I was like, after Mary Bass, I'm like, excuse me, after Butler's Courtyard, maybe? No. But that's why I was like, hold up. That's okay. Scheduling conflicts happen. We understand. So
what I did was, I guess I put the event in my calendar for the block party and somehow skipped over the 28th.
Well, there's too many messages going back and forth.
There's a lot of messages and like juggling that. How do y'all manage that with your team? Like, what's the best way? Is it the Lindsay, the magic?
Here's my moment to shine.
I need tips. How do you do it?
Yeah. So it's very evident when I go on vacation how much work I'm really doing. Or I have to, my daughter's sick, I stay home. And I kind of, as much as I want to be there for the team and pull my weight, it's also nice job security because they're
Vacation
answering phones nonstop, and that's usually where I come in and can do some direction. Organization is key.
Time management. She's really good at time management.
We have to, these couples, they expect immediate answers.
Right.
And the reality is there's so many other venues out there that I want to be their resource right away. And if I don't get in touch with them within 24 hours, at least, the goal is 1 hour. But if within 24 hours, they move on and they forget about me because they're looking at somebody else's website, their Facebook page. It's easy to get lost. So
I guess in your case, I'm trying to think if it's because sometimes, I talk to people and I'm like, well, maybe that's not the best, avenue to explore. And like trying to figure out in the best way, like to juggle that conversation isn't easy. For you, if it's not, it's evident, you kind of be like, hey, what do you need? Hey, maybe we're not for you.
Yeah.
Right.
But like just trying to.
And sometimes that does happen.
For everyone.
Yeah. There is sometimes where they have a specific date. It's their grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary and they just have to have that date and it's booked already at our venue.
Or a different look.
Or guest count. You never know. But we have some great friends in the industry that we're happy to recommend them to, and hopefully, if they can't have us, they can have another amazing venue and vendor. And
that's what I need. I need more amazing friends in the industry. So if it isn't quite the same relationship, I'm just like, you know what? I got these friends, and in my head, it probably would be perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it does feel less bothersome, if we can't match their needs, to send them to our friends. Like I brought Angela with me from Tuscan Courtyard that time. I would much rather them go to somebody who is also a family business, working mom, than a corporation, or a place that I don't know if they're going to get good treatment. To me, it's not about like, I want them to have the best wedding day.
Right.
And if that's not with us, if we don't match their aesthetic or we don't have their date, then I want you to go with somebody else I know will take good care of you.
Right.
So I don't want them having a bad wedding day. You can't redo that.
Not at all.
Can we talk about the Bay Area, the wedding professionals? Because we had them in.
I know.
Yeah, that was fun.
I know.
And y'all are a part
Amy
of that.
did awesome.
They did. And that's Robinette Catering.
And his and her photo.
And his and her. So Chef Mary Bass, I ended up running into her later that day at the Texas pit stop. And I was sharing about, how we had Robinette in, and that was really cool. And I need to stop by because I want to try the food. I guess the grab and
awesome.
Dish and Dash.
Dish
and
and
you
Dash.
can pick it up at Butler's.
Okay, you can?
On Mondays.
On Mondays.
Cool. Mary was saying that's her goal, like, and that's before she had officially announced, like, she's
her kitchen.
the kitchen.
Yeah.
She was like, man, I want to be, Robinette, the history that they have, and that's my dream.
Yeah.
So
Brenda Robinette has really established an amazing legacy. They did my parents' wedding, which I don't know was like 39
They're like
years ago.
newlyweds, though, right? They haven't.
Huh?
They're like newlyweds.
Oh.
They're young, right?
No, they claim every year because they earned it. But I mean, that marriage is not easy. You want to claim every year that you mark.
Some years are easier than others.
That's true.
I've been married for 5.
But you want to claim all of them.
Sure.
Anyways, and she's been catering for us since the beginning of time. And Amy took over, I don't know, a long time ago now. Amy's really been running it, and she's awesome. She's a great partner for us. She helps us all the time because she does know the catering stuff. So anytime we have questions on food, menus, pricing, how to, like, she's recently taught us how to do plated meals for certain events we can do that for. And that's not something you just do. Like, there's a system to it. And so she is such a good friend personally and also partner in our business.
She's so positive and uplifting. She's
and she's recently, overcome some health issues. She's a huge motivation to all of us gals. So.
I was trying to remember the food dish that they have. There is a family friend that we have. We call her Aunt Linda. And she always brings Robinette chicken salad, like, to any event. And I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I heard you.
I had to text my wife. I was like,
yeah.
what is it? And she was like, it's the chicken salad. I was like, okay, it's good.
Christy and Oscar, with his and hers photos, they're like obsessed with the chicken and dumplings, which
I love
obviously I've
chicken and
never
dumplings.
tried.
I think I'm gonna have to go sun-dried tomato
yeah.
spread. That is my favorite.
It's a spread? Like, you put it on bread or what?
You put it on their cayenne pepper. It's like a toasty cracker.
Like a cracker type thing?
It's a BC staple. You'll have it at some point.
Yes.
Well, maybe I've had it
amazing.
then.
The raspberry cheddar tort.
Oh yeah.
I'm all about the spread. Like, if there's something to dip it in,
Oh yeah.
I'm dipping, right?
You're a dipper.
Man.
You dip, I dip, we dip.
Yeah, exactly. Great song. There was an event where y'all held for Dr. Chapa. It was one of the cleansing,
Yeah, we're not allowed
events
to
and
have
the
any
meetings.
of that food at those.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they
Not at
had
all.
food, but y'all still had food. But it was like carrots and celery, and there was probably some like healthy dips and
Mrs.
stuff and
Chapa brought
samples.
that. Yes.
Yeah, so that was good.
Yeah.
She was yesterday. Dr. Chapa was talking about his mom's tomatillo sauce. Which, have you ever made that recipe? It's in like the cookbook
Oh, it is.
that they do. It's the
Okay, I'll have to look for it.
tomatillos. It's good. Like, it's like a good spice to
Like
it.
a salsa or something.
Yeah, it's like a salsa, but it's a challenge sometimes. How's school been for you going back to school with your
So mine started
daughters?
kindergarten.
how's that?
It was pretty emotional. They love it. They love school, thankfully, but the mornings are rough because for 5 years we've just been able to do whatever.
We got a new glass. I'm sorry, I just had to say I'm so
yeah,
happy.
what is wrong with your glass?
It's been like this. It was installed not properly. It's double.
Oh.
There's literally two
Foggy
pieces of
inside.
glass.
Yeah.
It wasn't sealed. We ordered a new one, and look at that. I'm
Okay.
so
I
excited.
thought that
I'm
was
sorry, I
just all
couldn't
your
contain
hot
myself.
air making it.
It
fog up.
is. Yeah, I talk way too much, so I have to use this throat herbal spray.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So how do your daughters eat? They're starting kindergarten.
My daughters
Do
eat
they eat
terrible.
Chapa approved?
No.
Are they vegetarians?
Yes. Eva has started to eat like a bite of bacon or a pepperoni here and there.
Yeah.
But then I took her over and showed Hamlet and was like, this is what you're eating. But
Oh no.
they can choose to eat whatever they want. I just want them to know what they're eating because, I mean, even myself as a kid, you didn't really know what
Right.
that was. You
Right.
were just eating a hamburger,
Yes. So Dr. Chop is telling the truth whenever he says that your kids are watching you.
They are watching, and
They may eat what you eat.
we have made some small improvements. Like Eva has started to eat bell peppers, which is huge. And I heard Mary's tip on how to cut them, which I was
Is that how you cut?
That is how I was already doing it, but I was like, I better listen to this. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. And then we have, Lindsay has a pig, so we give Hamlet all of like, she mentioned like the insides or the tops. Like he is basically our composter.
So that's the pig that you showed your daughters. Like,
Yeah.
this is what you're.
Because they feed him like any of our scraps. We always have like a bucket or a bag, and that's our Hamlet food.
Yeah.
But which is much better than throwing it out.
It's a great
so.
name, by the way.
Yes.
Yes, we know. Yeah. Obviously. Okay. But so with the bell pepper, the way I cut it, I cut off the top and I pull the insides out and throw them away, and then I usually do it in fours. So,
but if you're cutting off the top, how are the insides still attached? You just
I
kind of,
literally
like,
take my hand and I rip them out. And the reason I do it that way is because I used to work at a pizza place, which is one of the most fun jobs. I know y'all are pretty busy, but I definitely recommend like delivering pizza on the side if you have like a free weekend of
like
a month or so.
hustle.
Yeah, it's so much fun. But so like whenever you didn't have a delivery or some other stuff, just do some kitchen stuff, and that was one of the things. So that's the way they taught me. So that's the way I always did it. But I'm gonna have to try the other way. And so here's the other thing. Mary was like, "You cut this off, cut that off, throw it away." For me, I'm like, "Nah, that's like 8 cents of the 88 cents I paid for this green bell pepper."
So what
I'm
I do
peeling it
is
out.
I take my little paring knife and I actually cut
around
and keep the, because it's kind of roundy, and that's the best scoops for like your hummus. So I cut the ends like she suggested. And then I also like cut the good flesh off the ends.
Yeah, I kind of like with the stem, you can just like pop it out. Like the little thing comes right out and it's good to go.
Yeah.
Lindsay, you're not a vegetarian, are you?
I am not.
Okay. Just wondering. And you have children too, right? Are they going back to school?
Mm-hmm. They are both 5th graders this year.
That's exciting.
That was very emotional as well in its sense. So hers is the beginning and mine's kind of the end of this elementary school chapter.
Yeah.
So walking them in, it's the last time to walk on the first day, you know? So that was pretty emotional too for me. I just wanted to be in the moment and take it in because I'm pretty sure middle school doesn't allow that, or she may not want that. So.
She's like, "Mom, stay." I know. You got to do one of those cool videos. I've seen like moms come picking up, listen to you like.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I dip, you dip, we dip.
Yeah,
you like, put your hand, like you pulling up and like, come on in, girls, let's go.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
That would be
totally.
Would you do that?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I think she'd be just all grins walking out.
Oh, really?
Too. Yeah. I don't know if we've hit the embarrassment stage yet.
Yeah.
Maybe by 6th grade.
Maybe. You never know.
6th or 7th grade.
My son, he would be okay if like I walked him all the way in, and I'm trying to get him to the point where I'm like, "You're okay." Like, just to go. He's like, "Well, take me to that door. I don't want to go to that. Like, I have to walk all the way this way." But I brought like it wasn't a bribe, but he likes $1. Like, who doesn't like, extra money?
I
He's like
$1, yeah.
like they sell ice cream at lunch or like their snacks, and we're going to go to the library. They're selling calculators, erasers for whatever.
Right.
And so I'm like,
the
all
school
right,
store.
we're going to go to this store and I'll give you $1 and you can use it for whatever you want. But make sure, if it's the breakfast or the ice cream or the school store, it's your decision. So I kind of wonder what he spent it on today.
Right.
Mine get $1.50 because they sell ice cream.
Yeah.
And so that's 2 ice creams, and like, that's enough for the week.
Yeah.
And they usually have it by like Tuesday, and then I'm like, you're not getting any more money. That was it. You got to learn how to budget.
Exactly.
Okay, but we kind of got sidetracked. You wanted to talk about the Bay Area Wedding Professionals.
I do.
We have a bridal show coming up, and we're going to be there.
When is it?
The 29th, right?
Yes. Let's check our calendars.
I believe it's the same weekend as our block party.
Okay, so next month.
But that is
This is Sunday.
Yeah, that's a really good bridal show for local people to come to. It's way less overwhelming than the big ones downtown. You're in, you're here local, so how to get there.
Yeah, all the vendors are going to be local vendors.
There's some cost to attend, right?
Yeah, I think they charge the brides
a little bit
to come in because it does cost our group a lot of money to produce it.
Sure. Yep. What's the best way to find out who all's going to be there? So maybe you can scope out who you want to talk to.
Maybe they'll post a list of it. They should. I don't know.
Well, I see the Bay Area Wedding Professionals. They're commenting. So
what are they saying?
Awesome.
So yeah, it's 9/29, 1 to 5. So that's a Sunday, starting at 1. And
I think that's Christy. Hi, Christy. She runs the Facebook page.
Yeah, make sure you go check out their social media page, and you should be able to find like at least that event.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to talk to Butler's Courtyard.
Duh.
And we can share the event, and you'll see on our page doing some posts for that too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who are some other people that are going to be there that y'all already know that, hey, they're going to be there, that people should go check out there?
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be photographers there, florists there for sure.
Planners.
Gowns, formal wear, and venues.
Okay.
So the cool thing about our group is we really do pretty much all know each other. I mean, I'm sure there's some new people. I haven't been able to attend recently, but Lindsay goes. But my mom and Janice were some of the founders of the group, and we're more than just a networking group. We really are a family. Yeah. Like, for instance, recently we suffered a loss, and we just all came together and helped each other get through that when Danny passed away, and now we have a scholarship in his name. Yep. Which is super exciting. We're very proud of that. And so I know if there are any proceeds, to the entry to the show, that goes to that scholarship. And even if you already have a venue, we'd love to have you come out because all of these people are good people. They're going to not only provide you with awesome services, but they're trustworthy people to work with. Robinette, his and hers photo, Event Smith wedding, she does wedding design and she's a wedding coordinator. They were there last time, so I would assume. J&D Productions,
Hope Flowers, I believe, gonna be there.
Darker Side DJ, Musical Chairs, does he usually go?
Yep.
Jill's Fashions is there. Sunset Travel Team, Ministers, if you need a minister, there will be ministers there. Weddings by Janice is one. What's the other?
Y'all are both ordained as well.
I am ordained. I haven't performed a ceremony yet. But I almost had to do it a couple of weeks ago with our pop-up.
Those quick turnaround couples we talked about.
But I really want my first ones to be special. So
like who? Like your daughters, maybe?
Oh.
Would you marry them, or that would be not a?
I don't think I could do that. It needs to be like, I don't know. I was hoping it was going to be Lindsay.
Let's be real. That's why she got ordained.
Lindsay's like, no, we're going with them.
Giving and receiving.
I totally was going to do that. I was going to do that, and she would have been fine with it, and it would have been epic, right?
And then you would have been the entertainment after my.
I think the reality would have been is we would have gone into a laughing fit, and we would have never been able to exchange vows.
Or I would have been more like the actual ceremony where and my notes are in my dressing room. So.
I do? Yeah, like you do.
So by the way, Sarah texted us. She's holding down the fort. She has counted 65 weddings so far this year.
Did that include, y'all?
I don't think that includes
the 12 on Valentine's Day.
Right.
So, yes. And hello, let's go ahead and plug that.
Valentine's Day. What's going on?
Are you going to come out again? You want to be remote?
I should be able to. It's really hard to plan for February.
I know. It's a long time.
It's a long time away. I'm just like trying to figure out how I'm going to get through tomorrow. Like one day at a time. Yeah. But no, I can put it in the calendar. It'll be easy to remember Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that should just be like your thing. Every year on Valentine's Day, we might need you to officiate weddings if it keeps getting bigger.
That's true.
Yes. I've only done one, but it was great. It was magical.
Yeah, it's a Friday this year.
Yes.
That seems like it's a prime real estate day, though. Yeah. But y'all did weddings like in the evening, though, and then in the day y'all did both, right?
Right. So last year, we had one of Amber's good friends reached out and wanted to do the elopement extravaganza.
Oh, yes.
And I said, no way, Jose.
Yeah. So they ended up doing a full reception at the end of the day. And then going forward this year, we had an awesome couple come in. They were looking at 2021, weren't they?
I think so, yeah.
And then once they talked to Amber about the opportunity to be on Valentine's Day, there are a little bit of incentives that we give the couple that day because they aren't getting the venue to themselves the entire day like every other couple that we have.
There was cake. There was photography. Yep. I was there.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot going on.
What more could you want?
Exactly.
I know, that's everything
Cake
you need.
and Gardy, hilarious. There was music from the VC Strings.
That's right.
And this year we have potentially some more awesome things coming, so stay tuned.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're excited.
I'm looking forward to it.
But more recently, not only do we have our block party, but we have the Sherlock Holmes murder mystery dinner.
I saw the City of League City shared something to your dad, and he was dressed really cool, kind of look, and I'm trying to think of the best way to say this, but like Peanuts?
Yeah.
Like Planners style?
Monopoly Man,
or like the Planners guy, but look really classy, like really cool, and I was like.
Tails in the hat.
That's Amber's dad. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
I know, my dad's the coolest. That was actually a promo they did, or informational thing they did for the museum that we have in League City. But we're doing a murder mystery dinner that is Sherlock Holmes theme. So if you are a Sherlock Holmes fan, a murder mystery dinner fan, want to have a cool date night.
It's different.
It's something different. It's interactive. Everybody loved the last one. The food is Robinette, so can't go wrong with that. And our team does a good job. I mean, the girls even dressed up.
Yeah.
I was out of town, but I loved the pictures. So.
Did you dress up out of town, though? Like, would you have dressed up if you were in town?
No, but I was trying to watch. Like, we have cameras.
Yeah.
And I was trying to watch, but I couldn't.
Does it have audio, too?
It does, but it was so loud. It was so loud with the guests, I couldn't really.
Can you do that again? Can you tell them to do that part again? Yeah. That's fun. So when is that one?
September 6th.
September 6th. So September's actually very busy for you guys.
Yeah. It is. It's not very busy with weddings, so we make it busy with other fun stuff, including my birthday. But
when's your birthday?
15th.
How old are you going to be?
37.
That's awesome.
I round up to 40.
Well, yes, but it's just a number. How you
It is
feel?
just a number.
Besides, not you got the sniffles and some
I
tea.
feel not a day over 35, Gardy. Thanks for asking.
That's awesome. Very cool. Hey, can we touch on a bit about how your husband? First of all, we were talking about soccer.
Yes, he
football.
knows that guy.
He does.
Yeah, what was his name? Brendan?
Brendan Keys. Yeah,
He
from
was like,
from Dublin.
Everyone, we all know each other.
He's like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. I thought their team was in Galveston, but I guess they moved it.
So I know they used to do some stuff in Galveston, but now they play at the soccer stadium in Clear Springs and League City.
Right. Did you know there was a semi-pro? Are they semi-pro?
They're semi-professional.
Soccer team in League City?
I had no idea.
I didn't either until yesterday. Which then Mike was like, "Well, I knew."
What's the name?
Celtic or
Oh.
Celtic?
It's Celtic FC America.
I'm a bad
So
Irish in law for not knowing that. But.
Celtic FC is like a team,
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
and then
So we need to try to go
it's
to a
America.
game.
Yeah, that'd
The
be so
girls
cool.
would love that.
Mm-hmm.
he calls them the hoops,
Yeah.
but he gave me a jersey last time, and it's
you
pretty
did?
awesome. So it's
You
like
should've worn
stripes.
it yesterday.
I know, I forgot. It totally slipped my mind. I told my wife that whenever I got home, I was like, I'm a
Phone
fool.
reminders, task
I know.
reminders. You need. Tell you what.
You need an assistant.
I need a Lindsay. I need a Natasha from Chef's Table.
Yeah.
I need an Amber.
You need an
All I
assistant.
got is this guy.
You know.
And
I use Siri, like, if we say her name, she's going to light up. But Siri and Alexa keep my life in order, man. All morning I got reminders. Get in the car. Eva brings the snack today. Like, that's how I live my
the
life.
kids need lunch. Oh, the kids do need lunch. Thank
Okay,
you,
but
Siri.
Feed
we
the dog.
appreciated a little bit of a shout out for the Houston Gales because that's a project near and dear to our heart. The Gaelic football team. Have you ever heard of Gaelic football?
So no, from Brendan Keys, and then
Yeah.
you were mentioning. So what's going on?
So you need to check out. We have a website, and on there's some videos, so you can see what the game is. But it's super cool, and the guys need to come on the air with you sometime. Maybe that would be neat.
They're welcome.
Yeah.
Does
I'll
your
set it up.
husband play?
So my husband and Johnny and Philly, and then myself, the women behind the men, as I say. But they are the founders,
Cool.
and they started it with my support. When was that?
It's like pushing to me.
Do it.
but-
That's what it seemed like.
7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's been a while.
And it was just them, and then they've started this team, and it's been amazing, and they have a great thing going, and we have a women's team
opened up the
now.
women's team,
And they this past weekend actually just went to nationals near DC. So
Do y'all play? Have y'all ever played with the women?
I tried to get her to play. She could totally do it. She's
Yep.
very athletic.
She's like, yeah.
I mean, I could. We did talk about it. It's their mornings. Their practices are usually
Saturday
Saturday
morning.
mornings, which is hard for me to commit because we're in the wedding industry. So.
Right.
But it'd be fun to just get out there for recreational purposes.
Yeah.
You know.
And Mike did take a break, but he wanted to play at nationals, so he's been going back. So
Well, they were saying, the way he compared it, he said it's kind of similar to soccer, but it's more physical. How is it more physical?
So you need to watch the YouTube video, and
I
maybe
do.
you can share it on the page so people can watch it too. But
Get some interest.
it's okay. The way I describe it is it's a mix of soccer, volleyball, because they do hand passing,
Okay.
touches of rugby. That's the physical. They can shoulder check. They don't necessarily like full on like tackle like in rugby, but they can certainly jostle and shoulder check. And so big guys like my husband, he might not be the fastest at times, but he's good
He
at
can
the
check some people.
he's
like-
good at the shoulder checking
Yeah.
part. He does also score goals. At one point he was the highest scorer, so I will shout out for that. But and it's a mixture of Irish guys, American guys. We even have like British guys, Australia, like just anybody can play. Actually right now I think they have more American guys playing than anything, which is good because for obviously being in Houston, that's the way the team is going to survive, is to bring in these American guys. But it's been so wonderful, and we have a little family in an Irish community, and we celebrate weddings and birthdays together. We do the parade downtown every year, and our kids are growing up together, and it's a wonderful way for instance, my girls and Johnny's kids and Philly's new daughter to, grow up around other Irish families.
Experience
and
culture.
watch the
Yeah.
sport that their dads played. They do a little bit of hurling, which is incredibly scary to watch because it's like this giant pointy stick like coming out their face. But it's cool. It's the fastest moving sport, I think, in the world, I
Wow.
think, because it's just very fast. You can't even keep track of where the slither is. But
Send me that video.
okay,
Send me the video. I need to check it out.
it's super cool. You
I
should
need to
try
see
it.
So here's me making
Okay,
a
let's not
task
get crazy.
reminder to make sure Amber sends Garney the video.
Hey Siri.
Please. please. So
in
hey,
1
we're
hour, I made to send Gardy a video of Gaelic football. She didn't.
in
catch
series
that,
like
but
okay.
We'll get on. It.
That's awesome. Hey, we're about out of time. Do y'all want to touch on anything else? Is there something we didn't touch on, or can we remind people one more time about some of the events coming up?
Yeah, definitely. So again, we're Butler's Courtyard Wedding and Event Venue, not just weddings, you guys, birthday parties, anniversaries, baby showers. We've been doing a lot of baby showers lately. And we have our murder mystery dinner coming up September 6th. And you can find all of this on our Facebook page under events. The block party, that's there as well. Some upcoming open houses that we have. And we're here. We have special packages for 2019, even more inclusive packages for those pop-up weddings within 60 days, and are booking 2020, 2021 right now. So
I think we're going to be extending our special packages into January too. So if you were thinking about January, we can,
or if you're open to being flexible to get a little bit more savings. I've had some spring weddings move up so that they can take advantage. So
very cool.
We can do it. We can do it in a few days' notice. So.
Just making it happen.
Yep. 281-557-5551. That's our number. You can call or text it, which is super convenient for a lot of couples. Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. Y'all just search Butler's Courtyard.
And then butlerscourtyard.com as well. And you can see some really cool pictures.
Yes.
And then just stop by, maybe schedule a tour or go to the block
come to
party.
The block party.
Yes. Come
Gardy
to the block
will be
party.
there. You can meet Gardy.
That's my plan.
You could do like autographs.
Nobody would want that. Nobody would want my autograph, but
I bet.
I'll
I
catch
bet
the
there's
food
going to
truck,
be
catch me
some
at the food
comments
truck.
about that there.
Okay, and the little side note, our friend Tim at Signfly Graphics needs to make you a new sign here.
Oh, yes, I
An
doubt.
official sign. Hey, that's a challenge, Tim.
Tim
Hello?
at Signfly, he designed our Talk of Taco logo.
Oh, he did?
Did y'all see that? Go to Talk
haven't yet.
whenever y'all have the
Yeah,
opportunity. Talkoftaco.com, and you'll see it. It's
Awesome.
He's kind of similar. Like that was the idea, Cartoon Taco, but the logo in there. It's really fun. I'll
he
end the
needs
show
to
and
make
show
you
you
a floor
guys.
sign because these letters are popping up.
Yeah, it's not the best, but we like it, and it's actually not in the camera shot because I have y'all's logo.
Thanks.
Y'all's
for that.
logo up. So there's that. But it would
Very
be,
cool.
and people think it was a rug. Like they thought it was a rug for a bit.
Oh, yeah,
and so
I
we
did
were trying to
too,
keep the
yeah.
illusion,
I did
Yeah.
too.
which is totally bursted now.
Thank you for having. Oh, sorry.
I'm just messing.
Thank you for having us today.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Anytime.
And I'll talk to you guys
Scheduled or
soon.
unscheduled.
Exactly.
Just let me know whenever it works for you,
Okay.
and I'll just have Lindsay make my schedule for
That's
me.
right.
That'd be even better. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Bye, Facebook. Y'all
Bye.
be blessed. Be good. Have a good one.
That went by fast.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.